Most people over 60 are eating the same foods every day, thinking they're doing the right thing. But what if a few of those normal foods were quietly weakening your legs? Not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly, step by step, until one day your balance feels off, your legs feel heavier, and walking doesn't feel as natural anymore. And here's the part most people never realize. Some of the foods causing this actually look healthy on the surface. Today, you'll discover 3 foods that may be working against you, and 3 simple foods that can help your legs stay stronger, steadier, and more reliable. As we move past 65, the body doesn't respond to everyday foods the same way it once did. One of the biggest changes happens in the blood vessels. They gradually become narrower, less flexible, and less efficient at circulating blood. This reduced blood flow can quietly affect some of the most important areas of the body, including the legs, feet, and even the brain. What makes this more concerning is how subtle the early signs can be. It might start with a slight sense of imbalance, a feeling of heaviness in the legs after simple activities, or feet that often feel cold or slightly numb. These symptoms are easy to dismiss as just part of aging, but in many cases they're early signals that the body isn't getting the circulation it needs. The key thing to understand is that this kind of decline is usually silent and gradual. It doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly over time, often without clear warning signs, until it becomes more serious. And this matters more than most people realize, because falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury in older adults, and poor circulation and balance issues often play a hidden role. So the question becomes, what can you do about it? Let's start with number 1, the vegetable that can actually help support your body and circulation. Let's start with number 1, and this one might surprise you: spinach. This simple leafy green can play a powerful role in supporting circulation, which becomes increasingly important after 65. Spinach is naturally rich in compounds called nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide. This is important because nitric oxide helps your blood vessels relax and widen, allowing blood to flow more freely throughout the body. And when circulation improves, so do many of the functions that depend on it. Better blood flow means more oxygen is delivered to your legs, which can support muscle strength and make everyday movements feel more stable. Over time, this can even contribute to better balance, something that becomes critical in reducing the risk of falls. A simple way to think about it is this: imagine a tight water pipe that's restricting flow. When you widen that pipe, the water moves more easily and efficiently. That's exactly what spinach helps your blood vessels do: create more space for smoother circulation. But the benefits don't stop there. Spinach also supports brain health and may help reduce long-term inflammation, both of which are important for maintaining overall well-being as you age. The best part is how easy it is to include in your daily routine. You can lightly sauté it, mix it into omelets or lentils, or even blend it into a smoothie without changing the taste too much. Small additions like this can quietly support your body in meaningful ways. Take a simple, relatable example. A man in his early 70s started noticing small changes in his daily routine. He found himself avoiding longer walks, not because he didn't want to go, but because he felt tired much faster than before. His legs often felt heavy, and he assumed it was just a normal part of aging, something he had to accept. But instead of ignoring it completely, he made a small, almost effortless change. He began adding more leafy greens, especially spinach, into his meals a few times a week. Nothing extreme, no strict diet, just a simple adjustment. After a few weeks, something interesting happened. Walking started to feel easier. That constant heaviness in his legs began to fade, and he didn't feel as drained after short distances. It wasn't a dramatic overnight transformation, but it was noticeable. And that's the key insight. The issue wasn't a lack of effort or movement. His body simply needed better support for circulation. Sometimes small nutritional changes can make a bigger difference than we expect. Next comes a vegetable that supports something just as important as circulation, your energy and nerve function: sweet potatoes. As we age, keeping energy levels stable and protecting the nerves, especially in the feet, becomes essential for maintaining balance and mobility. Sweet potatoes are rich in beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A nutrient that plays a key role in supporting vision. And better vision can directly help reduce the risk of falls. But what makes sweet potatoes especially valuable is how they affect blood sugar. Unlike many common carbs, they have a relatively low glycemic index, meaning they release energy slowly instead of causing sudden spikes and crashes. This matters more than people think. Frequent blood sugar swings can gradually damage small blood vessels and interfere with nerve signals, particularly in the feet. And those nerve signals are critical. Balance isn't just about strength, it depends heavily on clear communication between your feet and your brain. When that connection is disrupted, even slightly, stability can suffer. Sweet potatoes also provide important nutrients like magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins, all of which support muscle function and nerve health. This can translate into fewer leg cramps, smoother movement, and better overall control of your body. In a simple sense, this is about giving your body steady fuel and clear signals, two things that become increasingly important with age. Now let's move to number 3. And this one plays a powerful role in protecting your arteries while also supporting how quickly your body reacts. Broccoli. Broccoli is rich in vitamin K, a nutrient that helps guide calcium to the places it actually belongs, like your bones, instead of letting it build up in your arteries. This is more important than it sounds. When calcium starts accumulating in the arteries, they can become stiff and less flexible, which restricts blood flow and makes circulation less efficient over time. By helping prevent this stiffness, broccoli supports smoother, healthier blood flow throughout the body. And better circulation means your muscles and brain get the oxygen they need to function properly. But there's another benefit that often goes unnoticed. Broccoli contains natural compounds that support brain function, especially processing speed. In simple terms, it may help your brain react faster to changes around you. And that matters because many falls don't actually happen because weak legs, they happen because delayed reactions. A small misstep, a sudden shift in balance. These moments require quick responses. When reaction time slows down, the risk increases. So the real insight here is this: stability isn't just about strength, it's also about how quickly your brain and body can respond together. Adding broccoli into your routine is simple. Lightly steaming it helps preserve its nutrients, and it can easily be added to everyday meals or soups without much effort. Small choices like this can quietly support both your circulation and your body's ability to react when it matters most. Up to this point, everything sounds straightforward. Eat well, stay active, and your body should respond positively. But here's where things get a bit more complicated. Many people over 65 are already trying to do the right things. They choose what they believe are healthy foods, they stay as active as they can, and yet something still feels off. There's a lingering sense of weakness, moments of instability, or a lack of confidence in movement that doesn't quite make sense. And that's where the hidden problem comes in. Because sometimes it's not just about what you're doing right, it's also about what might be quietly working against you. Certain foods, even ones that seem harmless or normal, can interfere with circulation, affect nerve signals, or contribute to inflammation over time. So the missing link for many people isn't effort, it's awareness. And once you see it, everything starts to make more sense. Now let's look at the first food that may be quietly working against your body, and that's corn. At first glance, corn seems harmless. It's common, affordable, and often labeled as a natural food. But the issue lies in what it contains and how it affects the body over time. Corn is high in omega-6 fatty acids, and while the body does need some omega-6, too much of it, especially without enough omega-3, can create an imbalance that promotes inflammation. And this inflammation doesn't always show up clearly. It works silently in the background, gradually affecting blood vessels, joints, and even nerve function. Over time, this can contribute to stiffness, reduced circulation, and less efficient communication between your brain and body. There's another layer to this as well. Corn can have a relatively high impact on blood sugar, especially in processed forms. This can lead to repeated spikes and crashes, which, over time, may strain the body and affect delicate nerve pathways, particularly in the feet and legs. The key insight here is that the damage isn't sudden or obvious. It builds slowly, often going unnoticed until the effects become harder to ignore. And that's why being aware of these everyday foods matters more than most people realize. Next is a food that often surprises people: canned tomatoes. They're commonly used in everyday cooking and are usually seen as a healthy option, but there are a couple of hidden concerns to be aware of. The first issue comes from the can itself. Some canned products may expose food to certain chemicals from the lining, especially when stored for long periods. While this isn't something you notice immediately, it's an added factor that can affect the body over time. The second and more direct issue is sodium. Many canned tomatoes contain high levels of added salt, which can gradually raise blood pressure and lead to fluid retention. And this is where it starts to affect how you feel day to day. When fluid builds up in the body, it often shows up in the legs and feet as swelling. This extra pressure can reduce circulation and limit how much oxygen reaches your muscles, making movement feel heavier and less comfortable. Over time, it can contribute to that same sense of fatigue and instability many people struggle with. The good news is, this is an easy fix. Choosing fresh tomatoes when possible is a simple step, or you can look for low-sodium or BPA-free canned options. Small changes like this can reduce unnecessary strain on your body while still letting you enjoy the foods you're used to. Now, this one might be unexpected, because cucumber isn't harmful in the usual sense. It's refreshing, light, and often associated with healthy eating. But the issue here isn't what it does to the body, it's what it doesn't do. Cucumber is made up mostly of water, which means it's very low in essential nutrients like vitamins and minerals. On its own, that's not a problem, but over time, it can create what you might call a false healthy habit. You feel like you're eating something good for your body, but nutritionally, it's not providing much support, especially for the needs that become more important after 65. This leads to something called nutrient displacement. In simple terms, it fills your stomach, but it doesn't truly feed your body. And when this happens regularly, it can quietly replace foods that would have delivered the nutrients your body actually needs. Over the long term, that gap starts to show. Without enough key nutrients, muscles can gradually weaken, circulation may not be as efficient, and issues like cramps or fatigue can become more common. It's not caused by one food alone, but by consistently choosing foods that don't give your body enough to work with. That's why a small shift can make a big difference. Instead of relying too much on low-nutrient options like cucumber, you can swap in more nutrient-dense choices like spinach, broccoli, or other dark leafy greens. These foods don't just fill you up, they actively support your strength, circulation, and overall stability. Aging is something none of us can avoid, but the way we experience it is not always set in stone. Decline may feel inevitable at times, especially when small changes start to add up. But in many cases, the direction your body takes is still influenced by the choices you make every day. And some of the most powerful choices are also the simplest, like what you put on your plate. Because over time, these small daily food decisions quietly shape how your body functions. They influence your strength, your balance, and ultimately your independence. The ability to walk with confidence, to move without hesitation, to feel steady on your feet. These are not just physical abilities, they're deeply connected to the habits you build day by day. And it's important to remember, this isn't about being perfect. You don't need a strict diet or a complete lifestyle overhaul to see a difference.
What truly matters is consistency and awareness, understanding what supports your body and making small adjustments that you can actually maintain over time. Even simple changes, repeated regularly, can begin to shift how you feel. You may notice walking becomes a little easier, your movements feel more stable, and that quiet confidence in your body starts to return. So instead of focusing on what you can't control, focus on what you can. Because sometimes the smallest changes are the ones that help you hold on to the things that matter most: your strength, your stability, and your independence.